Jason. All right, Natty P, thank you, and Natty P long distance. Good for you to join us. So, I've been in the industry for a number of years already, and I've worn many hats. So this is one of the first times I've been able to work with a group at the very onset, at the beginning of their existence. And what really drew me to this TriNutra brand is that TriNutra is unique at the very DNA of its setup. And I love it because from my experience, I mean, maybe because I'm a little on the attention deficit side myself, I don't like to wait for results. I don't want to wonder if something's working or not. I've already moved on to the next thing already. That's how I treat patients, and that's how I like to work with companies. And so this is one of those companies, the DNA of it is designed for immediate effect that you don't have to wonder about. And this is something that is great in the industry because you can count on your hand how many of those products are in the industry because you know what, they're all the blockbuster sellers. And so we're pretty excited to kind of be here today to introduce to you who we are as a company and also our first launch, the Cogniben product. So, all right, so Cogniben is the product. You have it right, samples right in front of you. I'm sure that you have some maybe also in, is it Philadelphia? Yeah. In Philly. Go Boston Sox. Sorry. And how many people here have actually tried the Cogniben? Anybody? All right. All right. And how many people here have noticed an effect from it? All right. How many people took only one cap? How many people have tried two? All right. All right. Well, we're going to circle back a little bit and show you different ways that you can maybe work with this product. All right. So first off, who are these people at TriNutra? Well, first off, TriNutra was founded in 2015 by Morris. Morris, give a wave. And Morris was soon joined by Ishtak. Now, Ishtak is a PhD pharmacologist over in Paris, not Texas, but France. And he is a wonderful person to work with, a true scientist that really knows his chemistry and is able to put it together. And I have a good relationship with Ishtak because he makes me look really good when it comes to clinical studies because he does everything behind the scenes and makes it world class. So he's a great resource. The TriNutra team is located in Israel, and we have the beginnings of the company being launched here in America through Natural Partners. So we partner ourselves with people that we know at a high level, who we know that can deliver, and who can represent us. So we're so excited to actually be united with Natural Partners again in another adventure. So the products, the reason why TriNutra was created was because there's a huge void in the nutritional world. Everyone seems to be rushing for a Me Too product. Everyone seems to be rushing to fill in a void in a lineup. But really, at the end of the day, a product needs to be designed with intent and for purpose. And with TriNutra, we always have a way to create synergy between products and between ingredients within a product. The synergy is key because in the world of phytochemistry, when you think about plants are incredibly smart species. Their molecules have ability to be synergistic within the systems. This synergy propels activity, and if you could harness a little bit of that and direct it to where you want it, you're able to make much more meaningful impacts. And so the key is synergistic blends created together. We then to create optimal ratios, and this is the really difficult part in the chemistry part. So you can sit at your desk and theorize what might make a good product. But then you need to actually, where the rubber meets the road, is to create the ratios between these synergistic products because the ratios oftentimes are more important than just the individual ingredients themselves. That's misunderstood in the industry because once again, most products are only created on the desktop by people Googling what might be good ingredients and what's hot and trending. So that's really important. All TriNutra products are validated in human clinical studies before they reach the market and they continue the research afterwards to create a bibliography of proven clinical success. That is also a key part that's missing within the product industry. Oftentimes, a raw material company will create an ingredient. They'll fund the studies for it, and then all the nutritional companies jump on board and use that as validation. At the end of the day, that's just another Me Too ingredient using something that may have some success. But when you use synergistic blends at specific ratios, and you can create something more powerful, meaningful, when you validate that with patients in the real-life settings, you not only can trust its safety and efficacy, but you can then parlay that to your practitioners and say, this is what you could expect from it. And that is always reassuring as a salesperson offering something. You understand what it is. It's like you're not going to the Chrysler dealership and the person wants to buy a Hellcat and you're offering them a 200. If you're not into automobiles, that may not be relevant to you. But it's a big difference. Now, upcoming in the fourth quarter, our second product will be coming out, and that's going to be Cogniben, which is a sleep agent, okay? So, maybe it's a little strange that we started with the puppy upper for Cogniben as our first product and a doggy downer as our second product. But hey, this is the world we live in, I mean, we've all become little Elvises, I mean, come on, Johnny Red, give me my uppers and my downers. We live in a world where we need to actually modulate ourselves. It's a fast-paced world. We have a lot of demands, and there's a lot of primary causes that cause imbalances that we use these different medications for. And of course, people are cyclic. Sometimes you need help in one area, sometimes you need help in another, because you change also. Here in front of me, it's a remarkably young group of people. I'm going to guess that in Philadelphia, we also have that same type of demographic. And in your case, in your world, you're not usually worried about sleep. Who needs sleep? Right? I mean, that's so passé. But you're looking to be effective and on target, and if you're going back to school, you're looking to actually have that energy for remembering things. If you're trying to succeed at Natty P with tasks that you have to stay focused with, that all is very helpful. So all of our products are manufactured in CGMP certified manufacturers here in the United States. Every aspect is closely monitored with your SOPs that fit with your highest demands that you guys require, and that we, as perfectionists in our own product manufacturing, require. And we're rather particular with that. So we partner with people who we know to manufacture and who we've had relationships with decades with. So our founders are visionary experts in R&D nutraceutical delivery systems with vast experience. We have a clinical advisory board. And I'm part of that. I'm at this point 50% of the clinical advisory board, and I'll introduce you to the rest of the team right now. So Morris, right over here, he's the founder of the LycoRed Group, which has been a monster huge success in the raw material world and also in launching its own brand in the past. So he's taken that experience in that raw material, the finished product line, and of course all his networking with brilliant people within the industries, and he kind of has brought a team, his A-team, together. So if you want to think about analogies, that's your Hannibal right there in the A-team. I think we just pulled up in Paul's A-team van too. So, and of course, with a chemical engineering background and decades of experience at high levels, he's a great leader to have. Ishak is the brilliant savant over in Paris, who is wonderful to talk with, brilliant on multiple levels, and he has his own little shtick. So someday you might get to meet him. He has that, like, I like to wear a funny hat at the end of the meeting to kind of get a rouse on everyone. So bear with him when you do see him. Yoram is another one of the business experts in delivery systems. He himself has been with Morris on multiple adventures at very high levels, and he brings another extreme high level of expertise on multiple levels that makes this nutritional supplement company a much greater creature than just any Johnny-come-lately company. There's this ugly guy here, Dr. Bush. He is over in Stillwater, Minnesota, a long-time customer of Natty P and one of your big promoters. Love what you guys do. I love the music room. I love the fact that you guys love the Beatles and Clapton. David Schreiderer is a psychiatrist in Florida. You guys might be familiar with him also. And he is one of those integrative psychiatrists. He is really good at what he does. He is actually a very hot commodity in the pharmaceutical world for lecturing, but yet his DNA and his base is in integrative psychiatry. And having a partner with to do clinical studies with, like David, takes our ability to do studies and get published and have the extra feedback from him and how the medications interact with his even more complex patients is a huge plus. It's a great thing to have as part of our team. So Cogniben's our first product. That's the one that you have right here. If anyone is tired right now, feel free to take one. And we'll see how you feel at the end of this lecture. Now, obviously, Cogniben is designed to help with improving your overall cognitive functioning. It's going to increase focus, concentration, and energy. These are all of our FDA-compliant words that we're going to be using today so that we don't pollute you with things that you shouldn't say. Of course, your doctors will be using a lot of different words, and you'll just have to say, yeah, that sounds right, doc. You can say whatever you want. And of course, key here is like not only are you going to increase your focus, concentration, energy, but you're going to improve your mental alertness. It's going to be able to get you focused and stay on track. That is huge. And it's not just it might work. It's going to work on some level with you and to some degree, and that's where the dosing is going to be key. So in the ingredients, we have a couple of different ingredients here. We have three things: Ginko, phenylethylamine, and caffeine. These three ingredients are designed to be synergistic together, and they also are in specific ratios. They don't work as well in the non-ratios. That's why this is a special blend, and it is got a patent being pending. It's actually going to be supposed to be patented within the next month. That's how much paperwork's been done already in the background. So the blending and the ratio are protected in the patent. It's because there's a lot of background work we had to do to get those ratios. So the ingredients are great. How they work together is even more key. Now, Ginko, you guys are probably familiar with Ginko, even if you're not practitioners. Ginko is one of the oldest trees on the planet. It is well known to grow in urban areas because it handles pollution greater than any other tree, and it cleans the air better than most any tree. It's because Ginko has an incredible, huge amount of antioxidants that helps in it surviving adversity. But Ginko has been shown in many research studies to improve cognitive behaviors, focus, and attention, both by itself and also with prescriptive medications and other complementary herbs. So there's a long list of research on that. Many doctors are aware of it, but many doctors don't use it as a primary treatment because, you know what, by itself, it's not that impressive. In conjunction with other things, it becomes even better. More importantly, we include it in this product because it has a mechanism that helps decrease the rapid metabolism of one of the main ingredients, phenylethylamine. So it slows that metabolism down. If you just took phenylethylamine by itself, you'd have a spike of activity, and then boom, you drop. With the Ginko added in, it creates a much more, a little smoother effect and more long-lasting. So you get that synergy effect, and that is where the ratio becomes important, because when your ratio is off, you might get a less than desirable effect. Phenylethylamine is one of the main ingredients, and phenylethylamine is a key here. Phenylethylamine, not found in very many products in the industry, so in your lineup, it's probably the only product that you have that contains phenylethylamine. Your doctors, when they order it and they have questions, they're going to say, well, is that DL-phenylalanine? Because DL-phenylalanine or phenylalanine is found in many of your different products, and that is what has been used as a precursor to make phenylethylamine by many doctors. And it's okay, and for a large number of people, it's very successful, but for the majority of people, it's okay. It's not the answer. Phenylethylamine is the biogenic amine, the trace amine, the neurotransmitter that has the effect in the central nervous system. That's what you want, and it's the direct, none of it gets funneled anywhere else. A very important part of the whole product. This has been shown in research to increase certain neurotransmitters in your brain, dopamine, norepinephrine, and even serotonin. And in the research, it's been shown this has a significant effect, especially in that prefrontal cortex that helps with attention, focus, cognitive functioning, mood, all of that's centered up in that front. And when you have a deficiency, specifically of dopamine and norepinephrine, you have oftentimes the cognitive issues, the focus issues, the energy issues. And so this is a direct modulator of that. Finally, who here likes caffeine? Who here avoids caffeine? Yeah. Caffeine is part of our existence as humans. What is the second most traded commodity on the face of the planet? Coffee. Number one, oil. So think about it. I mean, yeah, we go to war for oil. Guess what? If someone took our coffee away, I think there might be some battles going on. So caffeine has been used historically as a way to help boost brain levels of dopamine, help your adrenal glands kind of get you up and going. Everyone knows it helps with focus and attention. That's why we drink it. Starbucks would not be on every corner if it wasn't that effective, right? And of course, in combination of boosting catecholamine activity in the brain, stimulating the ability to concentrate those catecholamines and neurotransmitters in the brain, and then to keep them around longer, to not make them peak out too much, that's the synergy, and that's what helps make this product a blockbuster, a world-class product with great efficacy. So the blend, as you can see, it's a 500 milligrams. People ask, well, how much caffeine is in there? Caffeine is about half of a cup of coffee. So one tablet's a half a cup of coffee. So if you're taking the product, you might want to adjust it. If you're only taking 1 cup of coffee and you're taking one of those Cognibens, you're going to want to probably reduce that coffee or at least make a mixed blend. If you normally take 5 cups of coffee, not looking at anyone here, if you take 5 cups of coffee and you take 2 tabs, well, that would be 6 cups. That would make anyone jittery, so you might want to adjust that. So that's a key thing to also keep in mind. Most people who have started taking this, when they start taking it, they actually start consuming less coffee because they have greater focus, greater attention, greater energy, and they have less need for it. And great, bean soup is wonderful, but you know, your blood and your body does like water, and so it's nice to have a little bit of a change there. So supporting research. Initial study with the Cogniben product showed a direct increase in phenylethylamine, which is that neurotransmitter that helps with attention and focus, after taking the Cogniben product. So we have research on it actually boosting those urinary neurotransmitter levels. In addition to that, the Cogniben was part of a single blinded study at my clinic. We did a pilot study with 10 patients. We were very selective on those patients. They had to be between 18 and 55 years old. Women couldn't be pregnant. And no one could have a major medical issue. They could have attention and focus issues, but they couldn't have any other diagnosis, no psychological issues. They couldn't be on any medications. And if they were on anything for attention or focus, they had to wash out. 1 week on any type of prescriptive medications for attention focus, and 28 days on any type of nutritional supplements for attention and focus. So we had a very clean group that came in. And then what we did is we had them come in. It was a 7-week-long study, and we did standardized assessments, classic standardized assessments to measure attention and focus over those 7 weeks. The information that we gathered was amazing. This is a graph. And in that, we started off, when they first started, they came to see us. They came to see if they would qualify. And they measured on a standardized assessment of 38.4, which, just FYI, that's not good. Okay, so if you did a standardized assessment, and if you're someone who you think is kind of squirrely and is, that person who can't stay in the cubicle and they're like bouncing around all the time, or on the fulfillment floor, they can never sit still and they're constantly moving. Yeah, that person is probably measuring around 30 to 35, somewhere around there. Yeah, 38.4 is pretty world-class ADHD. And then when they came in after they got pre-approved to actually get the next check-in and actually get the product, they actually felt like they got worse, which is a classic human trait. It's like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for a week or 28 days to get my medication. I'm like, oh, everything's getting worse. So then we started up 2 days on a half a tab, and then let them increase to 1 tab for 5 days, and that's when we rechecked in. If they felt worse on 1 tab, they could go back to a half a tab. No one felt worse. Everyone stayed on 1 tab, and their improvement was dramatic already, from 39.1 to 33.5 in 7 days. That's a significant, highly significant change in behavior. After that, they upped to 2 tabs. In the study, 9 out of 10 people went to 2 tabs and stayed at 2 tabs. 1 person with a low BMI, which means they were a skinny guy. He was a skinny guy, really skinny. So he was like 6 foot and about 122 to 128 pounds. So and that was one of his problems. He was a skinny guy. He also had severe ADHD that prevented him from actually carrying on a good job or going to school. So we had, and he couldn't go on any type of medications because the medications cause appetite suppression typically. And so he couldn't go on that. And his already low calorie. So he was really squirrely on 2 tabs. So he's like, Doc, I didn't get heart rate or anything, but I got hyper focus, like scary hyper focus. He redid an entire shelving region at the food co-op because it was like for 4 hours. They were like, he was a great worker that day. And then after that, we rechecked in over and over throughout the progress of the patients. We checked vitals every time we did the standardized assessment. Their attention issues improved as the study went on. And it kept improving all throughout the study. On top of that, as a side note, the majority of them told me that their sleep quality improved too, which is huge because the biggest side effects to prescriptive medications for attention and focus is appetite suppression and insomnia and tachycardia. None of that existed, and an improvement of sleep happened, which also happens to me when I'm on the product myself. I didn't take it this morning, just FYI. So who may benefit from Cogniben? Those with difficulty focusing or completing tasks, individuals with busy, stressful lives, schedules that experience burnout or mental fatigue, anyone in the workplace, anyone that are students trying to get the extra studying, working long hours. I mean, you know the stories. I mean, people are illegally getting prescription meds to try and improve their ability to focus, to get good grades, to be able to study. And hey, if you're spending all that money to go to college, you need whatever edge you get. This is a much better healthy alternative, and I'll tell you, you will hear the feedback immediately. This product works as you take it. It's not a question if it's going to work, it's how much it's going to work for you and whether or not that's a good relationship. So if you have questions with Natty P and with your customers, there's a lot of things you can do. All customer questions about TriNutra products will be, or supporting research should be referred to our website, so our TriNutra.com. Check it out, get familiar with it. Customers with questions, please direct to our customer service so they can do a contact us if they have a question that way. We also had adverse events and patient-specific questions can be called to the 800 number. Guess where that goes? You get teleported all the way to Stillwater, Minnesota, and you'll talk to myself or Rebecca Bush, who is my wife, who's also another naturopath, and we will work with you and let you know what your answers to your questions are. So as Natty P gets questions, we're not going to just hang you out to dry. We will be there for you, and you'll get us. I myself have 15 years, 16 years of experience in handling these types of questions. My wife used to be the technical director of one of your largest product companies that you guys distribute. So we have a great resource for you, and we're always going to be there for you. And also, you guys have my mobile number. You can always text me also. So why Cogniben? All right, we have already a proven human trial, which already outdoes 99% of what our competition has. We have an astounding over a 40% decrease in attention and focus issues in a 7-week pilot study. 40% decrease. If you are someone with attention and focus issues and you are having trouble functioning as optimally as you want, a 40% decrease in that is the difference between functioning and not functioning. And that's exactly what the feedback we had from our study. A little highlight of how significant it could be. I had a patient, she's been on a stimulant medication for 10 years. 10 years. I asked her, have you ever gone off of it? Have you ever skipped it? How do you do with that? She goes, no, never. I'm like, you never skipped it? Never stopped? Oh, no. I'd be afraid. I would not be functioning. Really? So you're going to wash out of this for 7 days and then start the study? Yeah. I'm like, okay. So she came in, and she was a nurse. She came in, and she looked batshit crazy. I mean, her eyes were bugged out. She was sweating. She was breakdancing in her chair, and she'd be talking to me, and she's like, and then she's talking, and she like flail her leg up like a horse. And I'm like, okay, so when did this leg thing start? She goes, what leg thing? I'm like, huh? And I'm like, okay, so she started 1 tab, not much difference. A little bit better, not much difference. 2 tabs, oh my gosh, she was back to normal. And then as the study went on, she came back and she said, Doc, I can't believe not only is this product working as better or the same as the prescription, but I don't have the tachycardia and I don't have the mental confusion. I'm actually participating at nighttime with my children. I could read to them, I could interact with them, I could play games with them. I'm not fried out at the end of the day. She's like, I have a new life. It's like, that's how powerful, meaningful it is. So, in addition to that, we showed that it's a very safe product to take, too. Do you have to be a little careful? Yeah. I do not recommend you taking 3 of these at 5 p.m. I do not recommend you to go Rush Limbaugh and crush them up and do lines with them. It's probably not a good idea. But when you take it 1 tab or 2 tabs, you're gonna find a very good effect. And just like most other classifications of these in this class, they will wash out throughout the day. It's fast acting, and you know what? It just simply works. It is the most powerful and effective product I've ever seen for attention and focus issues, hands down. And I've used it with patients by itself or with medications. So now, as a tradition, I have always liked to make sure that I leave with a little reminder, and this product reminds me of something that Arizona is well known for. And at the end of the day, I'm hoping that you all have a little better understanding of what we're talking about. So, unless if you don't like Netflix or don't have Netflix, you might not know, but talk to your friend who's laughing. So with that much said, I'm really encouraged that this product, Cogniben, is going to be a huge seller in this with Natural Partners. You're going to have a great feedback, and we look forward to actually cultivating this relationship even further. So stay tuned, and let me know if you have any questions.